hikes strenuous climbs like Maine's tallest mountain, but no matter where you decide to hit the trail, you need to be prepared. And joining us this morning is registered Maine guide and the author of several hiking books, Aislinn Sarnacki. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with Katahdin, as we just mentioned. You've hiked that mountain several times. Based off your experience, how prepared do you have to be to hike it, and any advice for people out there who are thinking about hiking it this summer?
Well, so prepared. It is the most challenging hike in Maine, I would say, and you're out there all day long. And when it comes to terrain, it's the roughest terrain you can imagine. I think a lot of people are surprised by, you have to climb over rocks that are the size of buses. And the Baxter State Park official website has a great checklist of things to consider before hiking the mountain. So they really work to educate people because it is an awesome thing to do. It's a really fun thing and something that people want to accomplish, but to really prepare ahead of time and have enough water, snacks, supplies, a headlamp, some of these things that you might not think that you would want, but is a way to keep safe and stay comfortable on the mountain too. I mean, there's no reason to be miserable out there, so pack a really good lunch and yeah, there's a lot to consider, and so that website is a really helpful tool to check out ahead of time, like weeks ahead of time, and really plan for that hike.
So the weather might be warm at the base of the mountain, but as you climb to the top, that changes. Can you tell us a little bit what the temperature change is like for people that aren't really acclimated to something like that?
It's surprising. You can start out with these warm temperatures, summer-like, and then get to the top, and there's an area called the tablelands where you're in above tree line. There are no trees in sight, and it can be very windswept, very windy. And the mountain really has its own weather, I like to say. I mean, it could be raining on top of the mountain or snowing or ice, especially this earlier in the year. So I always advise people to bring extra layers. And then again, like if the weather's really bad up there, turn around. You don't need to get to the top to have a wonderful time. So it's surprising. A lot of people bring gloves and winter hat even in summer, and people get hypothermia up there in the summertime as well. So yeah, it's not something, it's surprising to some people that have never experienced that change that you can get with elevation.
Let's talk about the importance of having enough water, staying hydrated, maybe even bringing a water filter if you're going on a longer hike.
Yeah, there's so many options these days. It's amazing the technology that's out there to filter our water. In Maine, we're really fortunate to have tons of water sources. And so throughout the hike, you're going to probably cross, no matter what hike you're on, you're probably going to cross some brooks and streams and things like that. But it is really important if you're going to use that water to filter it because you can get sick otherwise, even though it looks very clear. So there's a bunch of different options, water filters, and then there's emergency options if you don't think you're going to have to filter water, if you think you can carry it all, like iodine tablets, things like that, that you just have as a backup just in case.
Yeah, that water filter is definitely a really important item to have with you. But how about sunscreen, bug spray, things like that? Should people be packing those items as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned from making mistakes in the past. I've been stuck above tree line without sunscreen and gotten terrible sunburn, and you only make that mistake once, hopefully. Bug spray this time of year is huge. And again, it's about safety, but it's also about comfort. Like you want to have a good time out there, and bug spray is #1 this time of year for staying comfortable during black fly. I don't even know. It's black fly, mosquito, and deer fly season, it seems like all at once right now. So sunscreen is important as well. I think people forget, but sunglasses, the little things, just like think of what you might need to feel comfortable. And my biggest thing that I tell people when I guide them on hikes is consider wearing a hat. Not only does it shelter you from the sun and allow you to use your camera without your sunglasses, but it also helps you with the bugs. It drives me crazy when bugs get in my hair and my ears and stuff. So wearing a hat can be really helpful.
Should we be like bringing, snacks on the trip as well, the hike? I mean, obviously you expect that it's going to go fine and nothing's going to happen, but should we be like prepared for, I don't know, what if you do get stuck for a couple of days?
Right. It depends on the difficulty of the hike and the length of it. I always bring snacks. I always have extra bars because I don't like to get hungry. The last thing I want is to feel like I don't have enough energy, and it's important to stop and have snacks throughout the hike, even if you don't feel hungry, just to keep that fuel in your body. Same thing with water. A lot of times people don't drink enough water. They just don't think to stop and drink it. And it's really important to take those rest breaks, just a couple minutes. But yeah, I think also packing good food is a really fun part of a hike. I like packing like an actual sandwich that I made, beforehand, not just relying on energy bars. I like to have something good to look forward to, and food never tastes better than when you're in the middle of the woods. So, and as far as if you get stuck up there multiple days, I mean, if you're doing a hike that is very remote, and you might not see other people, the rule is to have enough supplies with you to spend the night. It might not be a comfortable night, but to spend the night and survive just in case something goes wrong. So having that extra survival gear is great. And there's lots of lists out there to help you figure out what should I pack in my backpack. It doesn't need to be overboard, but just a few things can really help.
Yeah, lots of great tips from you here. And just quickly, where can people find those books that you've written and your social media?
Great. So it's kind of easy. You can see everything online at aislinn.sarnacki.com. I've linked everything there. So my social media, because I don't think there's a lot of Aislinn Sarnackis out there. So I think it's easy to find. And then my books, they're published by Down East Books, and you can find them in a lot of Maine bookstores. So go support your local bookstore and ask them for my book. And I've been pleased to see them in lots of different stores. So
awesome. Yeah. Aislinn, thank you so much for all the advice. I feel more equipped to go on a hike now. Me too. Lots of great information there.
Go.
We really appreciate it. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
After the break.